Drivers on the Seward Highway could see more traffic on the roads as the Department of Transportation works to ensure a safe travel path. This all happening after a boulder fell onto a car this week.
Georgina Fernandez explains all the difficulties that you could face on your next drive.
Out on the Seward Highway, the sights come with a warning.
This is a very dynamic corridor.
This stretch of road connecting Anchorage through Turnagain Arm, known for rock and ice falls due to spring's moody breakup season weather.
And so as you have that freezing at night, you have thawing during the day, and then if we have rain or wind on top of that, which this area does see, that just adds to it all.
Making it a risk for drivers. This past Monday, a driver's vehicle was smashed by a boulder near milepost 113.
Conditions are always changing, and so what we saw on Monday was essentially a rock fall, but this time of year, we do see ice fall as well.
Right now, the DOT does have a temporary traffic diversion in place here at milepost 113. They're moving right now vehicles away from that ice wall for caution as we continue to see those thawing and freezing cycles.
This is a dynamic corridor. Conditions do change really quickly, particularly during spring thaw. So we're seeing both rock and ice that falls, and usually ice this time of year. But we do actively monitor the area.
The DOT also has anchored wire mesh in place on the slopes to help manage falling debris and plans to keep this diversion going as long as movement continues.
And this time of year is when we expect more movement because of all of these dynamic things happening.
For now, if you're heading out on the Seward Highway, the message from the DOT is simple. Keep moving, stay alert, and report any concerns to 911. Georgina Fernandez, Alaska's news source.
The DOT also says it's in the process right now of designing a rockfall mitigation effort on the Seward Highway. We're still waiting to learn from the department which mile points that would cover.
Spring is slowly coming to life, which means it's about time to swap out those studded tires. Today was the deadline to get them changed for drivers south of the 60-degree north latitude line. Everyone north of that line has until April 30th, but tire shops recommend booking appointments as soon as possible to avoid backups or delays. Putting it off could cost you and impact other drivers.
Well, number one, you're going to wear your studs down pretty quick, and you can damage the road as well.
Our roads aren't great around here to begin with, so let's get them off as soon as possible.
And the roads out there mostly dry today, but that likely won't be the case tomorrow.
Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry joins us now. Melissa, it's going to be a hard one to give up, the sunshine.
Yeah, so beautiful out there today. Hard to believe that we do have this storm that is going to make its way across the state, but it is on the way. So I want you to be prepared. Yes, soak up that sunshine tonight. You can see beautiful blue skies here in Anchorage, and temperature's not bad, sitting at 41 degrees. Also seeing that sunshine in Palmer at 45. And hey, check out Juneau, 50 degrees at this hour. Fairbanks, just a little bit of cloud cover, a little cooler, sitting at 37 tonight. Now, relatively quiet across the state, but if you look real closely, you can see some snow starting to show up on the radar there in the Yukon and Kuskokwim Delta areas. That is part of a front that is going to move from west to east across the state over the next 24 hours. That means snow rain mix for western Alaska all the way into south central, even the interior and eventually southeast, seeing some of those showers pushing through. They are relatively light and they do move relatively quickly. So again, it's not a big to do, but something you want to be prepared for, and certainly a change from what we are seeing out there today. So overnight tonight, we'll gradually see those clouds increasing. Temperatures still dropping below freezing. I do expect those showers to arrive in Anchorage mid-morning, continuing through the afternoon and evening, again, likely falling as a snow rain mix. Don't be surprised if you see some brief periods of sticking snow, but anything we see will not last for long because those temperatures are not really changing. It's still going to be 40 degrees in Anchorage, 36 in Fairbanks, 44 in Juneau, and both Fairbanks and Juneau not likely to see those showers until the tail end of the day, but we will likely see that snow in Bethel. It'll likely be just a wet, sloppy snow with high temperatures topping out just barely above that freezing mark. Now, once we get through with this first wave, we do have some additional showers moving through and another storm later into the weekend. All the details on that forecast next.
All righty, Melissa, thanks for tracking all of that. And Anchorage leaders say more resources are coming to downtown, both on the street and behind the scenes. Mayor Suzanne LaFrance is extending Anchorage police foot patrols through the end of this year.
Now, the announcement comes as the city and state launched a new joint task force targeting retail theft, public disorder, and drug activity. Johnson Kuhn is downtown. He just talked to some business owners about what this could mean for safety.
That's right, Rebecca. Augusta, the foot patrol started ahead of Fur-Rondi, and as you said, the mayor says this will now be extended through the end of the year as part of the mayor's downtown revitalization project. Now, what that means exactly is the foot patrols started. What that means specifically is 2 officers will continue patrolling the downtown corridor from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's 7 days a week. It's a dedicated overtime detail paid for by the hotel bed tax. Now, the city says the goal is a more visible police presence with more business check-ins, quicker response times, and more direct contact with people in the area. Now, here's what one business owner we spoke with downtown had to say.
And I think that Mayor LaFrance has done a great job trying to improve the conditions downtown. I do feel a difference under her administration. It is a little early to tell it, impact on tourists and that sort of thing because we haven't even gotten our first cruise ships. But I think overall, I'm optimistic that it will make some kind of a difference.
Now, it's important to mention that this also all ties into other revitalization work, such as expanding live cameras in the downtown area and more than 20 infrastructure upgrades planned for this summer. Augusta, Rebecca.
All right, Johnson, thanks for being out there for us. And let's head up to Healy, where 2 people have been arrested on drug trafficking charges after they were found with more than 2 kilos of methamphetamine.
State troopers say a Fairbanks narcotics team had been investigating Elizabeth Spurgeon since March for selling drugs. Now, she was pulled over last month after allegedly driving through a stop sign and having her window tint too dark. After giving permission to a search, troopers say around $46,000 worth of meth was found in her truck bed. Spurgeon and the passenger in her truck, Robert Gentleman, were arrested.
And in Fairbanks, education could get more help soon after the borough mayor detailed his proposed budget for the next fiscal year.
Now, that includes $60 million in general funds for this year's local contribution for the school district. The district's total funding, more than $64 million, which is the highest recorded from the borough. The mayor describes the proposed budget as healthy, sustainable, and status quo.
They have a surplus this year, but that is on the backs of cuts and cuts and cuts over the last several years, and underfunding and underfunding and underfunding by the state legislature. So we want to do our job to be able to make sure that we are supporting them, supporting those needs, being able to invest in our community, and making sure we're also maintaining our facilities going into the future.
Mayor Hopkins is also proposing a 2% property tax increase. He says it will lead to about $17 more a year for a $300,000 home. The proposed budget now heads to the Borough Assembly for public comment and debate in the coming weeks.
And in Capitol coverage, lawmakers on the Senate Resources Committee are dedicating 3 weeks to discussion on the LNG pipeline. That's less 40 days left in the session.
Gasline proponents, including the governor, say a critical property tax bill needs to be passed for the pipeline's success. That bill cuts all property taxes for upwards of 10 years and misses out on billions of dollars for the states in the process. This is according to the State Department of Revenue. For now, the focus is on 2 bills, the governor's property tax bill and a bill designed for the gas line to give more information to the legislature about this project, all while the clock keeps ticking.
I'm happy that we're spending a lot of time on it. We're doing our due diligence. I am concerned that it's getting pretty late into session. The property tax issue has been floating around as an issue in the back of everybody's minds for the gas line since the 90s.
We've got expanded coverage on what's next for both of those bills, including comments from the pipeline's developers on our website and mobile app.
from the stories you never saw coming.
Yeah.
Social media is buzzing in the interior after several reported sightings of the singer Post Malone. Some people have been starstruck, others questioning if the pics are real or made with AI.
Valid question these days. One of the photos of Post Malone in the area is with a fan at Esther gas station. Several Facebook posts also claim they saw the artist in the North Pole. And while he's not here for any scheduled concerts, the validity of the spottings continue to be questioned. But we did talk to a fan who was in one of those photos who says the encounter was real. He says he was working when he was pleasantly surprised when Post Malone came in for a quick store run.
It was about I think 4 o'clock. I was just getting done doing propane, and I had another coworker in with me. And he was just walking around the store. He was buying a bunch of snacks, chips, bought a lot of Bud Light and Gentleman Jack.
Other rumors have swirled around Malone's connection to Raising Cane's franchises. The location in Fairbanks at the corner of College Road and Illinois Street is expected to open this summer. Post Malone is currently on tour with country artist Jelly Roll. The next concert is at the Stagecoach Festival in Indio, California, April 26th.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.